proceed any prosecution whatsoever, he must seek the authorization of the Attorney General. That question was asked of the OSP. The OSP clearly had not sought the direct authorization of the Attorney General in this matter. And the High Court judge said then he did not have any much of an option than to toss the case, but really asked that that case be handed over to the Attorney General for prosecution, because as far as he's concerned, the Attorney General is the one who must authorize the OSP to do these cases. And once the OSP had not been authorized, then that case could not be prosecuted by that office. That is the two judgment. First in the criminal division, then in the general jurisdiction, all at the High Court.
But we know that the OSP is pushing back. What exactly do we know? So
the OSP has put out such a strongly worded statement today, insisting that it is going to challenge this to the high heavens. Let me quote. It says the OSP states that it's taking steps to quickly overturn the decision of the General Jurisdiction Court, since the High Court does not have jurisdiction to, in effect, strike down parts of an act of parliament. However, of course, the General Jurisdiction Court did not seek to actually strike part down. He just sought to input his own understanding of what that is. He said the OSP firmly assures the public that all criminal prosecutions that has commenced before the courts and criminal prosecution it is about to commence before the courts will remain valid and will proceed. What this ultimately means, just before I go, is that all these other persons that are being prosecuted by the OSP at the next adjourned date can simply walk into court and tell the court that it's a big challenge as to whether or not the OSP can prosecute. And so the trial at least should be put on hold until the Supreme Court can get into the matter and decide. Fostina and Carlos.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, let's bring in John Darko, is a legal counsel to the minority in Parliament. Grateful for your time. What's your initial reaction to this particular ruling that happened earlier today?
Good evening. I believe that the ruling will stifle the independence of the Office of Special Prosecutor.
Hello, Counsel, can you kindly speak up so we can hear what you're saying?
Okay, can you hear me? Is it better now?
It's better.
All right, so I'm saying that my initial reaction is that the ruling will definitely stifle the independence of the Special Prosecutor. I say this because the office was created purposely for independence, because when it comes to prosecution per se, we have several institutions that actually can prosecute cases on behalf of the Republic, and that includes the police and the Attorney General's office. But the intention for creating the Office of Special Prosecutor was to get an office which is so independent from political, as it were, influence. And so to say that at any point when the Special Prosecutor wants to bring an action against anybody suspected to have engaged in corruption or corruption-related case, you need to go to the Attorney General. That means that you are bringing back the prosecutorial powers under the authority and influence of a political appointee. Yes, if you look at the appointment of the Office of Special Prosecutor or the prosecutor, one of the things that make it independent is the security of tenure. And so if you look at the current Attorney General, the current SP was appointed by the previous government and is still in this administration. And at least we can say that it will be independent enough to even bring action against the members of the current administration. But what has happened is that the administration feels that this independence may not be useful for it, and so they want to bring all the prosecutorial powers under the Attorney General's department. But I believe that this is completely wrong, because if you look at the act that established it, and I think that we looked at it earlier, if you look at the Section 4, 2 of the law, which says that the Office of the Attorney General is subject to Article 4 of the, subject to Clause 4 of Article 88, the office shall, that's the Office of the Special Prosecutor, shall, for the purposes of this act, be authorized by the Attorney General to initiate and conduct the prosecution of corruption and corruption-related cases. The interpretation which has been given to this particular provision is that this authorization has been given once and for all. So you don't have to go to the Attorney General's office every time you want to prosecute anybody. In fact, that would be absurd. That cannot be the...
Would the minority take any action? Would the minority, briefly, 30 seconds, would the minority be taking any action on this particular matter?
Well, I mean, this is quite new. We are watching. We also understand the challenge by the friends of the Attorney General. That is the action at the Supreme Court. We are watching that Semsai's Junior, Semsai Mutari Bowers Jr. has brought an action, as it were, to strike out this particular provision in the Supreme Court. And the Attorney General is defending his junior's case. And the case came up. What we realized is that both the Attorney General and the person who filed the case, they said they have agreed that this particular provision should go. And so clearly it tells you that this government is afraid of the independence of Special Prosecutor, and that once the Special Prosecutor is turning his eye on his members, especially when it started with one of their lawyers, Martin People, now that the NDC and their appointees from Parliament to the executive want to strike this office, and that's what they are doing. And for us as a community, we will look at it when these decisions come.
All right. Thank you so much, John Darko, for speaking to us here on JoyNews Prime.
Well, away from that, there's relief for Ghanaians as government has absorbed 2 cedis per litre on diesel and 36 pesewas per litre on petrol effective Thursday to provide relief in the face of rising fuel prices on the international market. The intervention follows an emergency cabinet meeting last week where key decisions were taken to suspend selected taxes and margins on fuel as global prices surged due to the war on Iran. The new measures are expected to take effect from Thursday, we're told, which is the start of the new pricing window. My colleague Caleb Ziblim of our research desk joins me in the studio with a breakdown of what we know. Right now, which tax handles have been reduced?
Yes, so the makeup of the levies and taxes on our fuel products total about 4 cedis 20 pesewas per litre. So for every litre you buy, you pay about 4 cedis 20 pesewas in taxes, levies, and margins. Now, if you look at the breakdown of what the government has done, they have not touched the taxes, they touched the margins. So this is where the relief came from, largely from the margins on fuel products. So this means that this is not going to have a direct impact on government's revenues, and there's no need for any readjustments of government's budget. The majority of the margins goes directly to the SOEs within the energy sector. So we're talking about the MPA, we're talking about BOST, Petroleum Hub Corporation Development, and also some of it also funds free fuel for political appointees and then free fuel for the security services. So this is where the government decided to make the cuts from. If you look at diesel, with a cut of 2 cedis was down to the margins. But if you look at the total margins, it's about 1 cedi 37 pesewas. So the government has even topped up about 63 pesewas on diesel. And then for petrol, the cut was 36 pesewas. Now we decided to look at the costs. And like I said earlier, this is not going to have a direct impact on government's books or government's revenue because government decided to take the route of cutting the margins and not the taxes. But then if you look at the diesel consumption for the month, we do about 230 million litres every month. So the 2 cedi cost is going to cost the SOEs within the sector or the energy sector about 460 million Ghana cedis.
Just within the 4-week period?
Just within the 4-week period. This is just for diesel. Because petrol, the reduction was somewhat minimal, about 36 pesewas. The impact is going to be 93 million Ghana cedis. So put together, the government is losing some 553 million Ghana cedis for the 4 months that this is going to be in place. And
we know that this will be resulting in lower prices on the pumps, but how?
Yes, so already the MPA has released the price floor for tomorrow, and then the price floor was doing 17 cedis 10 pesewas for diesel, but then the new price floor is 16 cedis 10 pesewas. So we've seen a 1 cedi reduction in the price of diesel. And for petrol, the price floor was 3 cedis 30 pesewas. We're now doing 3 cedis 27 pesewas. So there's some 3 pesewa reduction in the price floor for petrol. So overall, you see that much of the focus has been on diesel because with diesel, that's where most of the commercial buses use diesel. The long transport buses also use diesel. The industrial sector, the manufacturing, they mostly rely on diesel. Okay. So the government is trying to control inflation because once these agents have to pay more for fuel, it feeds directly into inflation. So the government's focused more on diesel than on petrol. So we see again diesel getting 2 cedi relief from the government, but then at the pump, it's going to be a 1 cedi drop in the price floor tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Caleb.
Well, it's a good time to now speak to the Deputy PRO for the Ghana Road Transport Union, GPRTU, Samuel Amwa. Grateful for your time. You have heard from the government on the reduction. What do you make of it as a transport union?
All right, so thank you very much for having me. Good evening to you and your viewers. Yes, what we heard from government this time, we are a bit satisfied. Why am I saying that? Because we were all looking forward for government to do something. Because as I used to say, we were not happy to increase transport fare. That is why we have been holding on to this time. So this is something that we're expecting from the government. So these reductions that the government, is bringing up, I think what the leadership, has done right now. After this release, the leadership of GPRTU just quickly summons a meeting, and we took a decision by maintaining the transport fares that we are taking for now. And going forward, we also know what to do. So basically, the union is not going to increase transport fares. We have been, talking to our drivers. Previously, there was a lot of pressure, coming from the drivers to the leadership. But, the leadership were able to absorb them by, explaining things to the drivers for them to understand the situation. So this time around, I think what we have seen now, we'll manage for some time, then going forward, we'll know what to do.
And for some time means what? How long? Are you going to also do the 1 month as government has indicated?
No. All that we will be looking at is what will be sold to us at the pump. We will always check the pump. So whatever happens at the pump. So if it happens that, government say that it's going to give about a month, okay? So after the month and things goes up, the leadership will sit and know what to do. But if still it remains the same, or maybe some further reduction also came, then we also know what to do.
Thank you so much, Samuel Amwa, space for the GPRTU.
Away from that, President John Dramani Mahama is cautioning Ghanaians against late-night eating habits, warning that poor lifestyle choices, particularly when combined with little or no physical activity, can increase the risk of non-communicable diseases. He was speaking at the launch of the free primary healthcare program, which is aimed at strengthening preventive healthcare, improving early detection of diseases, and much more. There's more in the following report by my colleague, Maxwell Agwagwa.
Government has in recent times been raising alarm over the rise of non-communicable diseases, which account for nearly half of mortalities in Ghana. President John Mahama raised similar concerns, calling for increased physical exercise among citizens. He also advised against late-night eating, warning that it can increase the risk of non-communicable diseases such as hypertension, type 2 diabetes, and heart-related conditions.
If you are the kind of person who likes eating heavy foods, you are not physically active, you are sitting in one place, and yet when they give you your fufu or banku, you say it's too small, you want a big bowl of fufu, and you want to eat it every day. Sometimes you eat it at night before you go and sleep. All those dietary changes you'll be educated on. Please, by 7 o'clock, eat your dinner and don't eat again. If you are hungry, just take some cup of tea or something. Don't eat any heavy food. Banku in the evening, you come from work in the evening, and then your poor wife is tired. Come and do banku, come and stir banku for me at 10 o'clock in the night. Why? So, an aspect of the free primary health care will be education on how to maintain a decent lifestyle.
The president further called for stronger community involvement in preventive healthcare. He urged traditional and religious leaders to help mobilize citizens to take advantage of routine medical screening, stressing that every Ghanaian should be screened at least once a year. He also outlined what the policy entails.
And then we're going to have a category of them. The health professionals in our CHIPS compounds and other places would be the ones who would be the primary administrators of the free primary health care. But we're going to have a category that we call health volunteers. This will include national service people. It will include nurses and other paramedics who have finished school and are waiting for posting. We'll deploy them in the free primary health care service until when it's time for posting. For those who volunteer and take part in the free primary health care, when it's time for posting, we'll give them the priority in terms of posting. And so there will be the health volunteers. They will go from place to place. Some of them will work in the what we call the health kiosk. Others will come to the community with all the equipment, and then they can sit under a tree, and then you just come and take your test quickly.
You're still watching JoyNews Prime on the JoyNews channel. We'll take a short breather. We'll return with more. Stay with us.
Hey, what's up?
Life. It's moving so fast. Yesterday I was in class 4. Today I'm almost in JHS. My shoes don't fit me anymore. My voice is deeper. I was watching cartoons, but now they say I'm too old for that.
The more things change, the more they'll stay the same. I still love you the same.
Come and sit, Dad.
In a world that keeps changing, Kalipo still keeps making sweet memories.
I still love it.
Dad, I told you to have a sip, not to finish it.
Kalipo food juice drink, making sweet memories. This advert is FDA.
No matter where we wander, Africa always calls us home. And here in Ghana, Stanbic Corporate and Investment Banking, together with clients like Gensa Energy and Goldfields, is driving sustainable growth.
The transition from fossil fuel to cleaner energy is quite imperative for the growth of a continent that we call home.
We want to contribute to delivering affordable gas for industrialization in Africa.
Stanbic is a bank that is focused on impacting lives, and Gensa has the same vision and mission.
Having a reliable source of power has helped our business and our operations in a significant way.
At Stanbic Bank, we bring businesses together, empower communities, and invest in the next generation. Stanbic Corporate and Investment Banking, driving growth, creating impact.
Hey, Charlie, what number? The malaria really knocked you down, eh?
Charlie, no joke. Fever, headache, vomiting, loss of appetite. I couldn't even eat my usual fufu.
You and your fufu. But I hope you got tested before the malaria treatment.
Yes, I did. And thanks to Malatu, I kicked out malaria one time.
When malaria strikes, take Malatu, containing artemether and lumefantrine. Comes in tablets and suspension for effective treatment of malaria.
Great to have you back. Thank you. No problem.
Malatu is suitable for adults and children. Manufactured and distributed by NS Chemist Limited. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
How may I help you today?
We'd like to open a bank account.
Sign here, sign here, sign here, and here. And now you draw direction to your house. I need your thumbprint. And I'll need your birth certificate too. No, I need the original.
A lot has changed since you bank like this. So have we. We've made it easier than ever to open an account online and bank on the go through our mobile app, online banking, and more. EcoBank, a better way to bank your way.
Sign here, and here.
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Welcome back. We appreciate your company. To other stories now.
Well, the New Patriotic Party has accused the government of targeting its members for cheap political reasons, describing recent arrests as a distraction from its failures. At a press conference in Accra, the party condemned the handling and remand of its Sunyani East communication officer as unacceptable and unwarranted. Fatal Baiga has more in the following report.
The opposition party says the pattern of arresting critics is a clear indication that the government has become intolerant. The party described the arrest of the Sunyani East communication officer as baseless and without any justifiable cause. Justin Kodia-Frimpong as General Secretary.
Let it be on record that the NDC government led by President Mahama has become so intolerable to the extent that it does not welcome divergence or criticism of its government.
He also criticized the Inspector General of Police, Christian Tete-Yohunu, accusing him of presiding over what the party calls a pattern of arbitrary Rainbow-style arrests targeting opposition figures.
It is sad that the IGP Yohunu has created an office whose duty is just to be combing around social media to identify people who criticize the government. And in midnight, in early hours, will go and arrest these people.
He also says,
if they know how angry Ghanaians are with the disappointment that they have about this government, the promises that they made to Ghanaians when they were in opposition, the promises to create jobs for good people of Ghana, the promises to pass the LGBTQ bill within 3 months, the promises to increase the price of cocoa.
National organizer of the party, Henry Nanabuachi, accused the decision of the judge who remanded Baba Amando into custody as allegedly politically influenced.
They did not even put any application, yet Justice Joseph Kunsun, you could see that he had a predetermined mind. He had a political mind. And unjustifiably remanded Baba Amando to reappear on the 20th. Under the guise of interfering police investigation. This is even more absurd.
The MPP calls on the government and security agencies to uphold the rule of law and ensure fairness, warning that such actions, if unchecked, could undermine Ghana's democratic principles. For JoyNews, Fatal Baiga, Accra.
Well, let's head now to Walewale. Armed military personnel have been deployed to the area following a protest by some NDC youth disrupting operations in the area. The group stormed the premises and locked up the office of the municipal coordinating director, forcing him to relocate work to his residence under police protection. They accuse him of incompetence, political interference, and stalling development in the municipality. Let's go live to the area and speak to my colleague Ilyasu Tanko for more on this. Ilyasu, what is the situation on the ground? You have some information.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Well, the military was able to intervene and this afternoon open up the office of the director. This afternoon, the director was forced to work from his official residence, and the local authorities had to call in the military to come and open up the office. But our checks with the director's office indicate that the director says he's very not sure of his security. So until proper security measures are put in place, he will continue to operate from his official residence.
Any arrests made so far?
There have not been any arrests made so far. The municipal chief executive, as I contacted him earlier, said he wasn't aware of this particular action by the youth. The director also said he was taken by surprise by this particular action of the youth. And like I mentioned earlier, there have been police guards stationed at the residence of the director for him to continue his official duty from his official residence.
And the NDC as a political party, I'm sure they have an office in that region. Have they reacted to this?
Well, there have not been any reaction from the NDC, but obviously this is not the first time that tension is escalating within the NDC in that particular constituency. Since the party came to power, there have been strong agitations following the delay of the appointment of the former member of parliament for that particular area. And so many people, especially party members that I've spoken with, believe that this particular protest is a boil-over of that previous agitations by the NDC youth.
Thank you so much, Elias Tango.
Away from that, more than 6,000 unpaid teachers are demanding the government clears the 17-month of salary arrears by the end of April. They say repeated appeals have been ignored, leaving them in deep financial distress. Some of the aggrieved teachers took to the street of Accra to register their concerns. My colleague Stephen Mensah joined the protest and now report.
Scores of aggrieved teachers gathered at Obrasport demanding immediate payment of their arrears. They say government has failed to honor its obligation, with salaries delayed for up to 17 months. Among them is Ifea Poma, a nursing mother who has traveled from Kumasi in search of her unpaid salary, joining over 100 colleagues in the protest.
Financially, it is affecting me. My mom is even sick. That's the main problem. My mom is on rock, and I need money to take care of her.
Befi, a Cree teacher, arrived in Accra with markers in hand, not to teach, but to make a point. He says the prolonged delays are beginning to affect teaching and learning in classrooms.
If I'm not going to get my money, if I don't find the money, I'm not well addressed on how the money is going to be given out. How do I get that hard to teach? I won't be able to teach better, but the job is mine, and I have to deliver it as well.
After hours of demonstration, the angry teachers first presented their petition to the Jubilee House. Later, the protesters marched to the Finance Ministry to also present another petition. Deputy Finance Minister Thomas Nyako Ampim addressed the group.
In May, you will receive 4 months of arrears. June, you will receive another 4 months. July, another 4 months, until the payments are concluded.
But the group's leadership says it will review the proposal before deciding its next line of action.
What the deputy director said, if May, the 4 months is not paid, we will just write to them and then notify them that we are going on sit-down strike. We have our plans scheduled. If this today, we did not hear this news, our next plan of action could have communicated today.
The teachers are demanding that government fulfills its part in its obligation in settling the arrears owed them. I am Stephen Mensah for JoyNews.
Away from that, Education Minister Haruna Idrisu has inaugurated a 17-member committee to develop a framework for the establishment of 12 new public universities across Ghana in a major push by government to expand access to higher education. There's more in the following report.
The committee, chaired by former Education Minister Christiana Amoako-Nneoma, is expected to provide a roadmap to guide the rollout of the new institutions under the directive of the President. Haruna Idrisu, speaking at the inauguration, stressed that while expanding infrastructure remains important, the committee must ensure that the new universities are built on strong foundations of research.
Just of your work, apart from inclusivity, ensuring presence, that every region of Ghana is a desire and vision of the President should have a university of its own in order to expand these assets. But the primary focus of the committee in the establishment of the universities should be guided by 3 important values. Higher education, how does it contribute to deepening research and innovation, apart from just merely expanding assets? And 2, how does higher education respond to the contemporary needs of our country? In particular, its manpower needs and manpower requirements and focus for the future human resource training and development of the country.
He added that the government remains committed to ensuring equitable distribution of higher education institutions across all regions.
Higher education remains a critical public good and a critical public need, because there are many young people in Ghana who are still having difficulty in accessing quality higher education across the country. So at the request of Her Excellency the Vice President, the President requested that we put this committee together.
The 12 universities include a technical university in Kintampo and Jasikan, a science and technology university in Damango in Savannah region, a college of pharmacy and biomedical engineering in the Volta region as part of the University of Health and Allied Sciences.
Now, close associate of former GHOC Chief Executive Officer Maxwell Kofi Jumah have filed an official complaint at the Asokwa Police Station against persons believed to be officials of the Economic and Organized Crime Office for allegedly ransacking his home. The officers allegedly seeking the arrest of the former Kumasi mayor allegedly made away with some laptops and documents from his home. Nanayao Jima has more in the following report.
They said, "You're more better, on the first bedroom." Since I'm here, and say, "Open the gate." And I'm saying, "Bio," when I'm here, say, almost say gate, every inside.
They broke into the main gate and called me out. When I came, they asked why I refused them access. I told them the one they came to invite for a program isn't available, so there was no need to let them in. They then told me to take an invitation on his behalf and follow them to Accra. I refused.
According to a caretaker who spoke on condition of anonymity, the officers forced their way into the house and subsequently tore all the rooms apart. She says the officers attempted to arrest her after realizing Mr. Jumah was not home at the time.
I came to the room and sent an SMS to my brother to call Paul and others. They came to the room and took my phone, so they realized I had sent messages around. They then said I knew his location, and that is why I was texting family.
Meanwhile, some associates who arrived at the home after the incident have filed a complaint with the police. Spokesperson for the NPP in the Ashanti region, Paul Yando, described the incident as a political witch hunt.
But the problem is that, must it be a crime for a Ghanaian to serve his country? Must it be a crime that when after service they have to subject you to this ridicule? Now the whole house or the whole world will have to know your room, your private. What has happened to the normal way of inviting people for documents or other things? What has happened to that?
For Joy News, Nanayao Jima, Kumasi.
Well, there are growing calls for reforms to Ghana's local governance system, with stakeholders warning that electing metropolitan, municipal and district chief executives alone will not fix long-standing structural challenges. At a stakeholder engagement in WA to share research findings, traditional leaders and civil society groups insisted the process must be non-partisan and backed by administrative and financial reforms. Rafiq Salam reports from WA.
Programs Manager for Land and Security Sector Governance at CDD Ghana, Paul Nanakwabla Abrompa Mensah, indicated that while electing local leaders remains a critical demand by citizens, supplementary reforms are non-negotiable for the assemblies to function effectively.
We need to elect our MMDCs, but the solution as to partisan or not partisan should go for further debate. 2 elections alone that cannot make it better local governance. We need to have supplementary reforms, including revamping the local government structures, the subcommittees, making them very effective to effect the accountability sea levels there, improving the IGF collection.
Setting the context for the findings, research analyst at CDD Ghana's Family Office, Paul Suhini Salifu, traced the current bottlenecks back to the framing of the 1992 Constitution.
Now, between 2008 and 2021, support for elections of MMDCs has increased significantly by 16 percentage points, while support for appointment by the president declined by 7 percentage points.
Throwing his weight behind the proposed reforms, Paramount Chief of the Promoter Traditional Area, Kuro Osman Digwe Nankpa III, stressed that universal adult suffrage, devoid of political party colors, is the only way to trap the best human resources for local development.
I also do not agree that those elections should be based on partisan lines. If we do so, we may be excluding our most finest, who are not politicians.
Adding his voice to the call for nonpartisan polls, Director for the Center for Alternative Policies and Empowerment of Civil Society, CAPEX, Abu D. Al-Hassan, warned against any arrangement that excludes unaligned individuals.
The best thing to do is to create a level playing field for everybody. If we are promoting voting for our MMDCs, we should just make it a universal arrangement so that every metropolis, every municipality, every district, they have the opportunity to elect their MMDC through a universal adult suffrage process.
The dissemination exercise forms part of CDD Ghana's nationwide drive to build consensus among state and non-state actors to fix the structural deficits of Ghana's decentralization architecture. Reporting for JoyNews, Rafik Salam. Wow.
Well, fishermen in Teshi here in the Greater Accra region say they are unable to go out to sea as they used to, as rising sea levels and coastal erosion disrupt their work. What used to be predictable fishing routines have become uncertain and at times too risky to attempt. They say the situation is taking food off their tables. Emmanuel Jivenu has more in JoyNews series When the Sea Comes Home.
It's early morning here in Teshi, and a group of men are pulling a wooden canoe from the sea. They hold onto a long rope, leaning back in unison and chanting as they work against the force of the waves. 50-year-old Moses Abeka Okai says the sea has become increasingly difficult to manage and is affecting the ability to work safely. Ajite Sowa has spent 22 years fishing along this coast. Today, he says the sea no longer causes more damage, but wipes out his boats and nets completely. Africa's Special Envoy on Climate Change, Dr. Samuel Doche, underscores the impact of coastal erosion and rising sea levels on livelihoods.
That is where you get your daily bread from. So once you are not able to go, it means that day you have to go hungry. It means that day, if your child is sick, you can't send the child to the hospital. It means that if you have to get money from your fishing to pay school fees, it means that your child have to stay home. So it's an opportunity where some children, including their parents, will be subjected to a kind of a mental torture.
For these fishermen at Teshi, the sea remains their main source of livelihood, but the changing conditions are making that livelihood uncertain. They are calling for practical solutions that will protect the coastline and allow them to continue their work under safer conditions. Emmanuel Jivenu, JoyNews, Teshi, Accra.
Wasted electricity is not only driving up hotel bills, but also contributing to climate change. Hotels are now adopting smart card systems to reduce energy consumption. The systems turn power on only when the rooms are occupied and switches it off when the guests leave. Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin reports in today's Climate Evidence.
As Ghana's demand for electricity grows, so does the pressure on the power system and on the climate. Large share of Ghana's electricity still comes from fossil fuels, adding greenhouse gases to the atmosphere. But inside hotel rooms in Tamale, a small piece of plastic is helping fight climate change. At Modern City Hotel, a simple smart card system is changing how electricity is used. Guests insert the card to turn on lights, air conditioners, and TVs. And when they leave, the system automatically powers everything down. General Manager of Modern City Hotel, Abdelaje, says this small automation has made a huge difference.
Previously, we used to buy electricity or prepaid or whatever worth about 150,000 cedis a month. But then I think from our checks, we realized that when we brought in this system, it has significantly reduced electricity to about, let's say, 120,000 a month.
I spoke to Professor Samuel Jemfi, Director of the Regional Center for Energy and Environmental Sustainability at the University of Energy and Natural Resources. Professor Jemfi says hotel rooms are simple, but households are more complex.
I guess residential energy consumption is much complex. In fact, the dynamics are more complex than we have in the commercial facilities like hotels and shopping malls and things like that.
But technology must fit local realities.
But the informal setup or Ghanaian household, traditional household, where people are occupying the room, while some are living, some are occupying, it becomes very difficult to implement such a card.
Technology alone is not enough. Everyday habits matter too. For a shop owner in Tamale, Yusuf Husseini, many high electricity bills come from carelessness. The new meters continue to run whenever electrical appliances are switched on, even when those gadgets are not actively in use. In some cases, a newly purchased credit is depleted quickly because the meter keeps recording power usage. A report by Mohammed Nuruddin.
This story is brought to you by JoyNews in partnership with CDKN Ghana, University of Ghana Center for Climate Change and Sustainability Studies, with funding from Claire R4I Opportunities Fund.
Yes, so watching JoyNews Prime. We'll be right back with Showbiz. Please stay with us.
How may I help you today?
We'd like to open a bank account.
Sign here, sign here, sign here, and here. And now you draw direction to your house. I need your thumbprint. And I'll need your birth certificate too. No, I need the original.
A lot has changed since you banked like this. So have we. We've made it easier than ever to open an account online and bank on the go through our mobile app, online banking, and more. EcoBank, a better way to bank your way.
Sign here, and here.
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Another week is here on the greatest of all time show. My name is Giovanni Clip, and tonight we're bringing you talent. contestant number 1. Let's bring Baby Car. Let's bring. He did it for you.
Cut. Oh, there is a leakage.
Where's the plumber? For quality and durability, insist on Syntex pipes.
If you want quality, this be where you belong.
Strong, tough, and reliable. Your perfect match to your trusted Syntex pipe. Syntex pipe, it dey carry water, no wahala. Syntex pipe, it dey make water dey flow. Syntex, and you're strong, and you're tough.
My name is Ochiame Pan, and Alphabet City says I should tell you about the Easter promo. So this very Easter, Alphabet City is giving out 11% discount on the full price of this beautiful semi-detached 4-bedroom. And they are saying that if you are buying within this month of Easter, because of the grace, they are going to give you free solar panels. And I repeat, free solar panels. The Easter grace is available for all. Secure your home with only 20% deposit of the full price of this beautiful home, and it's going to be yours forever. So call 0240 111 119. Alphabet City, the ABC of Home Sweet Home.
Dream.
Turn your home and office design dreams into reality. Here at Lesh Fortune, interior design is our passion. Customized interior design solutions, top of the range products such as curtains and accessories, blinds and accessories, trendy for bespoke hotel, home and office furniture, top-notch space design services.
I'm the CEO of Builders Estates. When it comes to putting the final touch on all my building projects, I look no further than Lesh Fortune for all my interior decoration needs. They bring your ideas to life.
Turning your house into a home takes more than just aesthetics. You need beauty and elegance, and the expertise is very important. That's why I choose Lesh Fortune Limited, because they have experience.
Yes, indeed. With our many years of experience, we would excite you. So make that call now. Call us on 0244 265588 or 0302 811163. Lesh Fortune Limited.
Lesh Fortune Limited, unleashing luxury with perfection, one space at a time.
Lesh Fortune Limited.
Well, it's Showbiz time, and of course, anytime it's Showbiz time, it means that it's Becky time, and she's in studio. Becky, what's up?
Hello to you.
I love your.
You do.
Yeah.
It's actually a gift from my sister.
It's so nice.
It's from my sister.
This is pure gold.
This is pure gold.
Oh.
Thank you so much for acknowledging that.
Nice
Appreciate
one.
that.
Yeah.
It's pure gold. Please, nobody should follow me.
Okay. What do we have tonight?
Oh, this evening, let's talk about Joe Mettle because he has officially launched the 14th edition of his annual Praise Reloaded concert themed The River, setting the stage for a powerful night of worship on June 28th. Speaking to the press ahead of the event, he shared his expectations and spiritual visions.
Oh, the Holy Spirit inspires us. The point is, every year we have a theme we work with. So before the end of the year, I go on my own retreats and waiting, and then I ask God for what the direction is going to be for the year. And that's how we follow it every single year. It is not just one that makes or gets people slain and fall, but the fact that it will bring fruitfulness, the fact that it would allow them to enjoy or taste the very life of God, the fact that it will bring nourishment to people, the fact that it would open the eyes of many to see what the will and the plan of God for their lives are, that they will have a real encounter with the Lord. That's what the vision is for this. Obedience. For me, obedience. It doesn't get easy. Sometimes it gets more difficult. But I think year after year, God has given me grace. God has encouraged and strengthened me to keep going. And so for me, I see the results of the obedience, and I don't think I want to stop until He tells me otherwise. Every single time, the testimonies, the joy, the healings, the manifestation, it can't get any better. This year, Ecobank was the first that came on board, and for that we're grateful, and we can't wait to have a very great partnership or journey with Praise Reloaded this year with them. And we are hoping and trusting God that more will come on board so that we are able to even, the point is, in terms of its quality and how well we're doing the thing, by God's grace, we have the gift or the grace for it, but then the more support we have, the more we are able to do.
For Praise Reloaded 2026. Now, former Black Stars chief drummer Joseph Langabell has thrown his support behind recent calls by the sports minister to integrate creative arts into Ghana's sports development agenda, describing the move as laudable. Speaking in an interview with JoyNews, Langabell urged Ghanaians to rally behind the initiative to ensure its success.
Because I remember that in 2010 when we go to South Africa, we do the same. Okay. We do the same. Okay. The musicians and the artists, they all came to South Africa and they come and perform to the place. And the place to get confidence and courageous and cheerful. Right. You understand me? No, when the minister, after when Kwesi Ntechi, how do you call it? 2010 is what this minister. Honorable Sana. Yeah. Sana. Yeah. Sana Dansua. Yes. Yeah. This is what she did it. When the ministers, the drummers, and the entertainment industry people, they came there to come and talk to them. They said, "Oh, it's a fun idea." Well, because of that, they brought them to the South Africa.
What do you think will be the benefits of entertainers and creative arts to football when it comes to issues of football and now going on to the World Cup? Yes. What do you think will be the benefits inculcating the arts and football? You know that before you went to the South Africa, the musicians went there already before we came there. Well, they entertain people in South Africa before we come. Wow. Well, it make the inferior go up. Right. Before even though the team arrived in South Africa. Well, it make everywhere in South Africa know that Ghana is in the town. Well, what's the idea too when the minister is Kofi-Addo is brought it solid 100%, and I admire the man. It's a very good fisherman. And you know, this is the minister. He didn't talk plenty. For him, when he touched something, once and for all. Oh, this is the man I want it. The idea when the minister brought it, Becky, if I told you that is a bad, I'm sorry for you. It's a very good idea. Very good idea. And do you think that we celebrate the Jama groups enough?
When we are doing during the Kwesi Ntechi time, or during the Asawajan time, in the Silabia time, we have something when we are doing when we go to camp, which is German styling. Right. When the players play, train finish, then I took the drum and everything, and then I give them, I make them make feeling that the training they go and do, or what they do, they don't think about anything again. They should think about the football. They should think about what they are going to do tomorrow. But when we do these things, or it makes the players, even there's a stress or common for them themselves when they go to the park. During about 5 years ago, 15 years ago, Black Stars is fantastic. You look, when the national team is playing, look
Joseph Langabell right there, my very good friend. Before we go this evening, Kofi Kenyatta is 36 years old today, and as always, he has released a song to that effect. We have the song, so enjoy it. The song is For Nothing. That's the title of the song. This is the first time we're playing. This is the first airplay the song is receiving, because the song is supposed to be out at 8 p.m. this evening, and it's not 8 p.m. And so
it's a minute to 8 p.m.
A minute to 8 p.m. But we have it exclusively here on Joy News. It's a new one coming from Kenata.
On his birthday.
Well, so the song is out officially, so you can go out there, stream it. Happy birthday to Kenata. Keep watching Joy News and keep reading everything entertainment on myjoyonline.com. I'm sure that he's received a lot of love today.
Sure.
So we're adding a little token of love from the entire Joy News team. We're grateful for your time. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for Showbiz. And it's time for Prime Business. Pius Kojobaka will be here shortly. Bye-bye.
Shut the limb fin, did I down? No, now I live for the designer by this time. Bilanukula, Benyamo, Ebawaka, Mamati, Bilanukula, Bejabo.
Hey! Is your tech holding you back? Feeling lost in the maze of outdated gadgets? Relax. Come with me to Configure.
Magic. Now I've been international fashion designer. No more pencil than talk matter beer. Kofi Jumah. Classic.
Wow, #1.
At Ghana, we don't just sell electronics, we transform your life. From office to home appliances and more, we have everything you need to step into the future.
Configure. Classic one. Configure. #1.
Let's talk hemorrhoids. Hemorrhoids are normal structures located in the anus of all mammals.
But it is only man who suffers hemorrhoidal disease because of the erect closer we have assumed and the squatting that we do to empty our bowel. Hemorrhoids consist of a special type of blood vessels which fill with blood when we are moving our bowel and help to cushion the anus against the force of transmitting the stool. Afterwards, they empty their blood, collapse, help seal the anus to maintain continence. Over time, these vessels lose the elasticity of their walls, become dilated, permanently filled with blood, leading to congestion of the hemorrhoids. The symptoms of hemorrhoids are bleeding and prolapse of the hemorrhoids when passing stool, itching and feeling of warmth in the anus and anal discharge. Laser, ligature, and longo are the modern, minimally invasive, most effective and painless methods of treating hemorrhoids today.
Mwintuba Hospital, First Ghana Colorectal Center, in to serve a peculiar health need.
Putting on just the fabric isn't really enough. You have to put on your confidence. I chose this printed fabric because it symbolizes hope and success because of the color and the texture. Maso Printex.
To Prime Business, I am Pius Kojobaka. Mixed reactions have greeted government's announcement to cushion consumers against rising fuel prices following increased volatility on the international petroleum market. Effective tomorrow, we know the start of the next pricing window. The state will absorb 2% or 2 cedi per litre on diesel and 0.36 pesewas per litre on petrol as part of an intervention designed to reduce the burden on households, transport operators and businesses. Let's get to hear from an industry person. Duncan Amwa is the Executive Secretary of COPEC. He joins us via Zoom for us to have a conversation. Duncan, thank you so much for joining the bulletin. Yesterday, when we spoke, you proposed a 1 cedi 65 pesewas reduction in petroleum price build-up as immediate relief for Ghanaians basically facing high fuel costs. Now, what do you make of this intervention by government?
Pius, clearly, government has listened. It has done something about fuel pricing. And as you may be rightfully aware, tomorrow marks the beginning of a new pricing window. And already there were indications that prices of fuel could go up, particularly for petrol. It could go up tomorrow. Diesel could have seen some slight reduction. LPG would also go up. So when you wake up to this announcement by government of absorbing a whopping 2 Ghana cedi every litre for diesel, you get some encouragement, or you get excited by the prospect that government is indeed living up to what Cabinet had recommended a week ago, that something should be done about fuel prices in the face of the fact that it has risen conservatively for the past 2-3 windows and was getting to unbearable limits. We are happy that the government has done something about this. The numbers were not explained, however, so it's difficult to, at this point, even put a finger to exactly what interventions, specifically what specific taxes we have touched, what specific levies or margins that government has had to utilize to be able to achieve this 2 cedi and 36 pesewas, respectively, for diesel and petrol at the same time. But I'm sure in the coming days we'll probably be able to get the answers that we are asking for. But if you ask most Ghanaian users or consumers are excited by this announcement, at least it gives us some relief and a window to also further observe or monitor to see for the next 4-week period what the Israeli-Iranian-American conflicts, what it would be like, and as to whether government would need to come back to enforce all taxes, or it would need to find some other solution to the Ghanaian petroleum user. But like I said, it's a very good first step, and I am hoping that government will move towards the second gear, which is to say that you need to fix your buffers or resiliences to ensure that if the war persists, there will still be a fallback plan to get the Ghanaian consumer, as it were, relief, and properly so to speak.
That's fair. So, interestingly, this is coming at the time the NPA has revised the price floor for petrol and diesel by 3 pesewas and 1 cedi, respectively. How do we reconcile these numbers, really?
So what that will mean is that if you were going to see 3 pesewas and there's 36, it means that there wouldn't be much. It's gone down. If you are going to see another 1 cedi and you are getting a 2 cedi cushioning, it means that you are probably still going to be able to get some, cushioning. And so from tomorrow, when the final pump prices begin getting out, consumers would actually know I would have thought that that intervention for petrol could have been a little more significant. Maybe it's 50 pesewas, 60, to also be able to cover for whatever increases that potentially could be expected tomorrow. But all well and good.
That's fine. Beyond the short-term absorption, what structural reforms is COPEC pushing to address the real drivers of high fuel prices, taxes, levies, etc.?
Well, Pius, what we all asking as CSOs when we met, sustainability question, if we have to go down the route of just taking off taxes, at what point do we not even have taxes left any longer to remove? And so the more sustainable thing we believe is in government doing the heavier lifting and ensuring that establishments like BOST, whilst you are removing some of the taxes you should be setting aside what you would call reserve margin or fund, so that if you have that money and you know that is going to accrue to that fund every day, you can even use that money as, a basis to be able to buy and store petroleum products in anticipation of a future that you don't even know. And so we would expect that government would also make the necessary adjustments to get what you would call strategic reserve fund for bust, something you and I would be paying for every time we buy fuel. That bust can save and ensure that anytime there is the opportunity for them to use the product that they bought at a lower price previously to intervene positively for the market, there will be something that they can also deliver to the market, knowing very well that they bought it cheaper earlier when prices were favorable.
All right.
Further, we would also expect that the refinery that many Ghanaians are happy, excited for when we said we had fixed store and things were looking very good. It looks as though we need to go in there with a requisite investment, change whatever obsolete equipment that exists, make additions or improvements to the existing CDU, RFCC, and then the reformer chamber that we haven't been able to fix to improve the quality of petroleum products that come out of TOR. We should be able to do that, and where necessary, also get a desulfurizing unit to be able to get the refinery to process high-quality diesel products that you and I are already consuming from the BD's importation from Europe. Those are the things we would expect government to do something about fires.
Grateful, Duncan Amwa, for speaking to us here on Prime Business. Now, Managing Director of the IMF, Kristalina Georgieva, has charged Ghana to maintain economic stability despite the current conflict in the Middle East, which could threaten recent gains. Speaking at a news conference in Washington, D.C., on the fund's global policy response, Madam Georgieva noted that government must watch before they act.
In this world of frequent shocks and uncertainty, what is our policy advice to our members? In the short term, maintaining macroeconomic and financial stability is key. Understandably, governments would like to help businesses and people hit by the exogenous supply shock. My advice? Look before you leap. On monetary policy, for countries where monetary policy was well calibrated before the shock and expectations remain anchored, wait and see is the right approach. In other countries, early policy action may be required. On fiscal policy, we have been warning for some time that public debt is constraining fiscal space. I want to stress what is different this time in comparison to COVID is the cumulative impact of shock upon shock. It has pushed debt to dangerously high levels. Global public debt is on track to breach 100% of GDP in 2029, a level not seen since the aftermath of World War II.
Well, the IMF has announced a $50 billion fund to assist countries that are badly hit by recent development in the Middle East, which the fund says Ghana can access. Here is Madam Georgieva.
We serve as the firefighter for our member countries, and we are committed to helping them navigate this complex landscape. We anticipate near-term demand for IMF financial support to range between $20 and $50 billion. This represents augmentations of some existing programs. Currently, we have 39 programs, and prospective demand for new programs from at least a dozen countries, a number of them in sub-Saharan Africa. We are coordinating closely with the World Bank, with the International Energy Agency, with other partners, including at regional level, to maximize our combined response. Even as we step up our support, we continue to adapt our toolkit. We are doing very important review of program design and conditionality, comprehensive surveillance review of our FSAP, so we can further sharpen the policy advice we provide to our members. We continue to work on countries on debt, including through the Global Sovereign Debt Roundtable. It will meet again this afternoon. And as our member countries navigate this moment of uncertainty, we are helping them think ahead so they can handle any form of turbulence.
Let's take a longer at the International Monetary Fund because they are looking at Ghana ending 2026 with a growth of 4.8%. It also expecting the end-year inflation rate to reach 7.9%. Details in this report.
The latest growth estimate is slightly higher than the 4.8% that the IMF projected earlier this year for Ghana. The review is coming at a time that the IMF has cut global economic growth due to the current war in the Middle East. However, a source close to the IMF here in Washington, D.C. had told Joy Business that the growth numbers can be attributed to an earlier projection that the economy is now in a better position to perform due to the impact of the IMF program and how that has gone a long way to improve the revenue situation as well as government's commitment to fiscal discipline. Growth is also expected to pick up strongly next year, with estimates pegged at 4.9%. The IMF in the report is also projecting that Ghana would end the year with an inflation rate of 7.9%. This is also better than the 8% the government is hoping to achieve by December this year. One thing is clear from the data is that we would end 2026 with a single-digit inflation, and even in 2027.
Away from the International Monetary Fund and its related stories, the ex-factory price of goods and services increased by 1.5% between March 2025 and March 2026. Details in this report.
On a month-on-month basis, producer prices for goods and services increased by 0.7% in March 2026 compared to February 2026. The mining and quarrying, the largest sector, with a weight of 43.7%, recorded a 0.2 percentage point decrease, falling from 4.1% in February 2026 to 3.9% in March 2026. The manufacturing sector, which makes up 35% of the PPI weights, increased minus 2.9% in February 2026 to minus 2.2% in March 2026, gaining 0.7 percentage points. The producer inflation in the transport and storage subsector also continued to fall, declining from 8.6% in February 2026 to 9.6% in March 2026. For households, the Ghana Statistical Service advised that they rearrange consumption towards goods and services with more stable prices to help preserve real incomes. With manufacturing, the Statistical Service pointed out that inflation is still negative. Therefore, firms that rely on manufacturing inputs should consider negotiating medium-term supply agreements to secure more favorable pricing. At the same time, the month-on-month inflation suggests short-term price pressures, so firms should adjust pricing strategies cautiously to avoid potential demand contraction.
The Ghana Revenue Authority is urging taxpayers to ensure to use the month of April to file their tax returns to enjoy the full benefit of tax payment. Speaking to journalists on the celebration of April as Tax Education and Good Governance Month, Commissioner for Domestic Tax Revenue Division at the GRA, Dr. Martin Ayamboriga, urged taxpayers to use the period to honor their obligations to claim tax reliefs which they are entitled to.
If you have any relief that you have to claim. For example, you are married, the marriage relief, you need to indicate it in. If you have children that you are taking care of who are attending schools in Ghana, you have that. If you are taking care of somebody whose old age, that is above 60. And then if you also have, let's say, mortgage, that is you've taken a loan to build your first house, all those information with that you put it in. Once you complete the information, the system will automatically calculate the tax based on the information that you have. Now, it depends. If you were doing business and paying your taxes on a quarterly basis, the tax would have already been in the system. So the system will tell you that, okay, this is the total amount of tax that you are supposed to pay for the year based on the information that you have inputted. This is the tax that you have already paid. Then the difference is what you are supposed to pay. Let me also add that it is possible that upon filing your return, you could also have a refund. And one of the benefits of filing your returns is that it enables you to get a tax refund from the Ghana Revenue Authority, which we do. So assuming that because income tax is paid on a quarterly basis and in advance, probably you might have paid more than what your actual income requires you to pay. So the system will let you know that you have overpaid your tax. And in that case, you can make an application to the Commissioner General for a refund. And I want to use this medium to say that, yes, we do refund taxes to people who duly qualify for it. And I encourage people to file their returns and claim any refund that they have if they have paid more than what they are supposed to pay.
And now to the telecom sector. American Tower Corporation's Ghanaian subsidiary has prevailed in an international arbitration against Airtel Tigo Ghana over unpaid fees for telecommunication tower services. This brings to a formal close a contractual dispute in Ghana's telecom sector for several years. Details in this report.
The case was heard before the International Chamber of Commerce Court of Arbitration. The outcome arrives at a delicate moment as Airtel Tigo rebranded AT Ghana following the government's takeover as it undergoes restructuring. The arbitration is the legal endpoint of a debt that accumulated over several years. Airtel Tigo, formed in 2017 through the merger of Bharti Airtel's and Millicom's Ghanaian operations, rallied on ATC Ghana's tower infrastructure for its network coverage across the country. Under industry standard tower sharing arrangements, mobile operators pay tower companies known as tower costs recurring fees for access to mass, power supply and related services. Payments to ATC fell into arrears, and by the time the current Communications Minister Samuel Nate George addressed Parliament in March 2025, the figure owed to ATC alone had reached 1.5 billion cedis, a proportion of a total debt loan on AT Ghana's books that the minister put at over 3.5 billion cedis, equivalent to approximately $225 million at prevailing exchange rates.
Former President John Akufo-Addo is calling for increased support for the private sector as a critical step towards addressing Ghana's unemployment challenges. Speaking at the Design and Technology Inaugural Legacy Dialogue Series on entrepreneurship and the future of work, the former president stressed the need for deliberate policies and sustained investment to empower businesses to grow and create jobs.
Speaking at the inaugural Legacy Dialogue Series on Entrepreneurship and Future of Work organized by the Design and Technology Institute, the former president stressed the need for deliberate policies and sustained investment to empower businesses to grow and create jobs.
So my statement was to usher in the golden age of business. Usher in. Yeah. I wasn't going to do and run the whole length of it, but to allow or changes and others who could really, given the opportunity, venture. They may make profit, they become billionaires. Why not if they do it legitimately? But then the state benefits from them. So I wanted to help recapture that venturing spirit that was there even before independence, that had been lost or had been sort of marginalized back, because it was through the cooperation of state and the venturists that I believe would relaunch wealth creation that would then move the state to the benefit inclusively of all the citizens.
Founder of the Design and Technology Institute, Constance Swanika, is urging government to place greater emphasis on private sector-led growth as part of effort to create jobs and transform the economy.
The World Bank 2025 policy notes also calls for a Ghana Compact, a consensus on national priorities that endures across political transitions. If Ghana implements the right reforms consistently, it can sustain growth above 6.5%, triple its per capita income by 2050, and harness a demographic dividend of nearly 500 new entrants to the workforce every year, The bank's lead economist was direct. A key focus should be on youth and their transition from school to work, ensuring that they have the skills they need for a modern economy. And the private sector must become the active architects of the skills pipeline.
The Design and Technology Institute has announced that its entrepreneurship center at Berekusu campus will now be known as the J. Akufo Center for Entrepreneurship in recognition of its long-standing support for private sector-led development.
Still on job creation, as Ghana continues to grapple with youth unemployment, the promotion of alternative livelihoods through skills training is increasingly seen as critical. Details in this report.
Over 4 years of collaboration have culminated in the establishment of a Skills and Enterprise Development Center at Doyumu in the Shayosu district of the Greater Accra region. Led by Quantum Ideas Ghana in partnership with traditional authorities and supported by Rotary International and the Bay City Club of Michigan, the $30,000 global grant project is expected to empower people with practical skills for self-reliance. The center will serve communities within the enclave, targeting youth unemployment while helping to curb social challenges such as unwanted pregnancy and drug abuse. Lead at Quantum Ideas Ghana, Annie Ethel Komlaga says the focus is on sustainability, with beneficiaries expected to produce and sell their product to generate income and sustain the initiative long term.
All that we've been going around teaching, we've been doing the manual process, but for this particular project there is a mass production aspect of it, which means that we need to get the equipment that will help us to be able to do the mass production. So we have the mixer. This is the 200 ml mixer, and that will mix everything liquid, liquid soap, bath gel and everything, and even the bar soap. We need that mixing before we'll be able to mold it and cut it. So you can see the cutter also in the background. Whichever shape we want, we are prepared for it. Yes, I told you that it's a dream that began so many years ago. A lot has gone into it, and this is not even the full setup. When you come here again, you are going to see a lot more machinery and a lot more production tools.
Assistant Governor, Rotary Club of Akosombo Dam City, Joseph Jamesi says the initiative drives community and economic development by equipping beneficiaries with practical skills to boost incomes and reduce vulnerability.
I will want to take a moment and encourage all those who benefit from this project to take it very seriously. In Rotary, one thing that is extremely important is sustainability. We don't put money in any project that cannot be sustained over a long haul. That is basically a waste of money. The training room earlier, and I saw some of the machines that have been acquired for the soap making and etc. And wonderful machines, low-tech machines, but wonderful machines. Now, there are machines that need to be repaired regularly, that needs to be maintained regularly, and therefore I'll ask all the partners involved to spend the time, spend their resources, make sure they are maintained always.
Meanwhile, Jase of Doyumu Betesi, Nene Jase Te Jaba, emphasized that the project's success depends on the community addressing social challenges and creating conditions to attract investment.
Big worry and a challenge because of no business in the community. They don't have anything to do and to be giving themselves to the young men, giving birth, immature pregnancy and all those things. So I sat down, thought about the whole thing. I said, no, let me bring this project to my community so that at least the ladies especially will benefit from this project. And then to, eradicate these teenage pregnancies, if they have their own skills and they are earning money, nobody can, lure them into that thing. and they will take their education very serious.
Rotary Club of Akosombo Dam City called for the establishment of a Rotary Community Corps in Doimu, as the event also highlighted the immense contributions of Kate Noel of the Bay City Club of Michigan and the club president Andrea Taik. Present at the event were Simpim of Hyonwe Blaka, Nene Afedi Oyilagbeye, traditional heads, members of Quantum Ideas Ghana, and other community members.
Kwame Yankafa out of that report. Ending Prime Business, I am Pius Kojobaka.
It doesn't take much to protect what we love. Sometimes it begins with prevention. Care is not always loud. It is attention, caution, and doing small things right.
Fire safety starts with me, being careful every day.
Good Conduct, Great Life is brought to you by
Indomie.
Tastes great.
More Kiwo inside, more to share. Kiwo Gari Soaking Mix, taste of Ghana.
Seeing the Prentex fabric, I like the color, texture. I chose this design. It suits my body type. It means a lot to me to look good in clothes that I wear. I don't care about nobody's opinion.
Maso. Prentex.
Hey, Charlie, welcome back. The malaria really knocked you down, eh? Charlie, no joke. Fever, headache, vomiting, loss of appetite. I couldn't even eat my usual fufu. You and your fufu. But I hope you got tested before the malaria treatment. Yes, I did. And thanks to Malatu, I kicked out malaria one time.
When malaria strikes, take Malatu, containing artemether and lumefantrine. Comes in tablets and suspension for effective treatment of malaria.
Great to have you back. Thank you. No problem.
Malatu is suitable for adults and children. Manufactured and distributed by NS Chemist Limited. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
For decades, we have helped businesses connect with their trade partners all over the globe. From Ghana to Burkina Faso, Côte d'Ivoire, Benin, Togo, Senegal, China, Morocco, France, Netherlands, and many other countries. We have made it possible to bring Ghana to the world. We have brought small and medium businesses closer to their customers across the regions in Ghana with our SME support facilities. We have brought relief and smiles to the faces of families with our employee personal loans. With our cutting-edge technology and digital support, we take the burden of complex thinking off you, making life simple. That is who we are, as close as a partner. Bank of Africa. We are indeed the African bank with the global reach.
Hi, it's me. The one you poke, sip, and hopefully love. I'm your small reminder that growing up doesn't mean growing out of me. Trends come and go, but you still reach for me. I'm not just a drink, I'm that little sip that reminds you life can still be sweet. Calipo fruit juice drink, making sweet memories. This advert is FDA approved.
Hi there, welcome to Prime Sports with me, Razak Musbah. Well, let's start with the Ghana Football Association because they have taken another step in strengthening its football development structures with the presentation of some vehicles under the FIFA Forward program to key operational units. Now, the latest allocation covers 2 regional football associations, the Technical Directorate, the Ghana Football Headquarters, and the Ghana Soccer Center of Excellence. My colleague, Joseph Ayinga-Walter, was there at the ceremony earlier today.
As part of efforts to strengthen grassroots football, the Ghana Football Association, through the FIFA Forward program, presented 4 additional vehicles to each regional associations to make operations easier. President of the Ghana Football Association, Ket Okreku, emphasized the importance of these vehicles to the various reps of the associations.
I've always spoken about fixing the fundamentals, and when we speak about fixing the fundamentals, this strategy via the Forward program directly fits into that plan, because the foundation of the sport is at the regional level, where coast football is played, where girls U15 leagues are being played, where Division 1 girls leagues are being played, where Division 3 leagues are being played, Division 2, etc., etc. And therefore, any form of support is needed for the development of the sport. So I'm very happy about today. Today we are adding 5 more pickups to the collection. This tells you that the FA is very much committed in meeting the needs of our, not only our members, but our constituent bodies.
Greater Accra Regional Football Association Chairman Samuel Abrebi, a rep and a beneficiary of the FIFA Forward vehicle, highlighted the importance it is for them to be part of the initiative.
Greater Accra is huge, it's big. From Asutwari, if some of you know Asutwari, to Adan, Sege, Accra proper, then to the boundary of Kasua, that is Central Region, that's our boundary. And when you look at it, we need something that will let them be mobile. You have to move, because you cannot be at your office always and be using telephone to run football. Sometimes you have to go and meet them physically and address their challenges. So I think it will enhance our job.
Another recipient of the vehicle, Alhaji Abu Alasan Araizo, believes it is a step in the right direction for Ghana football.
In Northern Region, I have about 26 district football associations I have to supervise. And if you look at the distances between most of the districts, from Pandai to Bole, it's almost like from Accra to Tamale, Accra to Kumasi, for example. That is the way it looks like. Northern region covers about 1/3 of the landmass of Ghana. And that is exactly how you are expected to move as a regional football association chairman to supervise grassroots football at the various places. So beyond logistics, transport is very, very key.
Now, the Ghana FA President, Ket Okreku, he has also charged the Black Maidens to replicate the impressive performance against Togo ahead of their second leg clash in the 2026 FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup qualifiers. Now, this follows a visit to the team earlier today at their base in Prampam, where they have been preparing for the second leg on Sunday at the Craft Sports Stadium. Meanwhile, the qualifiers marks the Maidens' return to the Under-17 competition following a FIFA suspension imposed in 2022 over age falsification violations. Now, the sanctions led to Ghana's exclusion from the 2022 Under-17 Women's World Cup and subsequent qualifiers. The ban now lifted. The Black Maidens are poised to seal the win against Togo and advance to the next round of the qualifiers. Here is head coach Nanajo Adakwa.
Plan to come and win the match so that going back into our next game, it will be mere formality. But what happened today shows that we have to improve upon our scoring. So we are going to work on our scoring so that we can take our chances, because we squandered so many chances here today. So we are going to work on that. We're going to watch the clip and we are going to analyze player by player and see what happened during the matches. Then we go to training, then we do training about what happened here. So if the player is slow here, then we are going to work on the player. Though we all know that they are kids, like U17, they are learners and they will keep on learning. So whatever happened here, we are going to improve upon it. So we are going to play our system of play. We always play 4-3-3, and this is our game plan. But going forward, like what happened today, they stay back and give long passes. That's what the Togo least team always do. So going back, we are going to watch the clip. We have the clip here. We are going to watch. Then we'll see what we can do in our next game.
Now, go to the Black Stars now, because FIFA High Performance Specialist Faisal Chipsa has expressed confidence in the ability of newly appointed Black Stars coach Carlos Calony to bring discipline that he believes was lacking under previous coach Akufo-Addo. Now, he, of course, Akufo-Addo was dismissed after a run of 4 defeats in international friendlies with 3 men to go before the World Cup. And the Portuguese tactician, Queiroz, has been hired on a 4-man deal as a replacement until the end of the 48-team expanded tournament to be hosted in Canada, Mexico, and USA. But speaking to JoyNews, Chipsa said he is the former aide. He is confident about the competence of the 73-year-old and optimistic about Ghana's chances going into the World Cup under him.
If you ask me, is that a right appointment? Based on what we have now and what we have on paper, you would say it is a good appointment. How good it is, we would know at the end of the World Cup. But looking at where Ghana is now, with this man coming in, I think it's the right person that we need to sort of bring a bit of discipline to the team, which for me lacked a lot in the previous, I would say, hands of Otto. So that for me, I think we would see. If you extend a little bit more, you would also see a team that lacked identity before. And with Carlos, you would definitely get an identity. Whether it's good or bad, it's debatable. It's up to you Ghanaians to decide if you enjoy his style of coaching, his style of football or not. But for sure, you would get an identity. And most people would say he's a very defensive coach. Again, I don't say it's good or bad, just as who he is. Going back to the coach he's teamed, the teams he's coached previously, none of them are like Ghana in the last previous years. So the challenge for Carlos now would be how adaptable can he be taking on Ghana. Iran is not Ghana, Oman is not Ghana, Qatar is not Ghana. Ghana, we expect more. So for me, the challenge for him now would be how adaptable he can be to lead Ghana to success.
Mufta, Faisal seems to share the same sentiments that you're saying, that, well, this man...
Yeah, that's Faisal speaking to my colleagues earlier in the day there. But still on the World Cup, Ghana is also intensifying efforts to curb human trafficking linked to sports as the authorities respond to rising cases of exploitation tied to informal recruitment networks and growing demand among young athletes seeking opportunities abroad. Now, as part of this, the International Organization for Migration and the Ministry of Sports and Recreation is set to host a national forum in Accra tomorrow. And they are seeking to sensitize the public on what to take notice of as they look to travel to the World Cup. Well, Eric Kwame Akomanyi is the National Project Officer at IOM, and he joins me on Zoom briefly to talk about that all-important event happening tomorrow. Eric, thank you very much for your time. I mean, first of all, tell us what this event, this massive national dialogue is all about tomorrow. Eric, if you can unmute yourself, please.
The national dialogue simply seeks to bring stakeholders together to discuss a more or less overlooked issue when it comes to athletes' protection. Basically, what IOM has observed in our work when it comes to migration has been situations where we've received distress calls from players that have been abandoned either after trials have not been successful or have been deceived through fraudulent schemes and have been misled. So what we're trying to do in partnership with the ministry is to explore avenues leveraging on a global event like the World Cup to raise awareness on the possibility of trafficking either in or through sports. So this big national forum happening tomorrow at the University of Ghana basically seeks to bring the stakeholders together and to amplify the conversation around trafficking in and through sports, to raise awareness, and to also promote the regular pathways when it comes to exploring professional career in whatever discipline that the athletes want to pursue.
I mean, the World Cup is coming, and of course, as you mentioned, a lot of people will be looking to go. I mean, why has it become a very pressing matter for you now? Just if you can just share with us a little bit of what the risks are relative to people having such a strong appetite to go to the World Cup.
No, I think for us, we're not discouraging people from participating, but the argument and the case has been that you should use the regular pathways. You should make sure you are avoiding instances of smuggling, you are avoiding instances of trafficking. What we have observed in our work is that even with the World Cup happening, there are websites that have come up with different kind of framing that looks like the World Cup, all with the ultimate goal of deceiving people. So we are looking at fraudulent job offers related to the World Cup. We are looking at potential scams that are related to the World Cup. And then we are also looking at different kinds of schemes promising prospective footballers or athletes with the opportunities related to after the World Cup. So what we're seeking to do is to leverage the event to raise awareness and to also encourage fans, supporters, anyone traveling, that if you intend to go, make sure you are using the approved and the regular pathway so you don't find yourself in vulnerable situation whenever you make your way out there.
I mean, and just finally, events is happening at the University of Ghana. It's a hall, I get it right, and it's happening at 10, I believe, and the general public is invited. Did I get those details right?
Yes, that is correct. So it's happening at the Institute for Social and Statistical and Economic Research at the University of Ghana. They have a very big hall. And basically the event, one, will seek to present to the general public a study that has been done on issues around trafficking in and through sports. And so we will have the findings of the study and the major recommendations for the government moving forward. And then also, interestingly, provide a platform for some form of dialogue around the issues. We are bringing together the 3 World Cup hosting nations and then also the Honorable Minister for Sports and Recreation, who are a key partner on this project that seeks to address trafficking through sports.
Well, Eric, thank you very much. And hopefully tomorrow we'll meet there and continue the conversation. And even after the event, we can get to talk more about this very pressing issue. Eric is with the international IOM, who are looking to contain, in fact, fight and stop trafficking through sports. Well, let's stay on the World Cup now, because France manager Didier Deschamps has confirmed the striker Hugo Ekitike will miss the World Cup after suffering a suspected Achilles injury during Liverpool's Champions League defeat by Paris Saint-Germain on Tuesday. Now, the France forward left the pitch at Anfield on a stretcher, and Liverpool fear a long absence for the 23-year-old, which could also rule him out of the start of next season. Now, Ekitike went for scans earlier today, which I expected and have confirmed the extent of the damage. Now, player did join Liverpool from Frankfurt last July and has been one of their standout performers in a difficult season for the club, scoring 17 goals and making 6 assists in all competitions. Well, speaking after the quarterfinal, second loss by Paris Saint-Germain head coach Arne Slot was full of sympathies for the player and also hoping that they can finish well in the Premier League.
I think we made a lot of progression compared to last week. I have to give a lot of credits to the players, how hard they worked. I have to give a lot of credits to our fans, how they helped us tonight to execute our game plan. And that means if we have a high press, it's so helpful if there are fans behind you to keep on pushing you. That's what they did. unfortunately, it's one of the many examples of this season where we weren't able to score from the many chances we had. Again, we were so far underperforming in terms of XG. And that is just an ongoing thing with us throughout the whole season. And add to that, as it seems to be a bad injury, we don't know sure yet. Add to that another intervention of the VAR, which went not in our favor. And that's also not for the first time this season. Then, of course, we are very disappointed because I think there were parts in the second half where you could just feel if we can score now, this is going to become a special night. And but the future looks very bright for this team, for this club, because we've shown that we can compete with the champions of Europe in our stadium. To be the dominant team, not many teams can be dominant against Paris Saint-Germain and generate so many chances as we did. But yeah, chances is one thing, scoring is a second.
Yeah, that's Ancelot. They got kicked out of the competition. Arsenal and, of course, Bayern Munich at the moment are going through to the semi-finals of the competition. Ben is here to bring me an update on what's been happening so far in the Champions League. Ben, what's happened? So it's goalless between Arsenal and Sporting?
Yeah, and Arsenal obviously looks like they are going to go through. From what I saw, they were creating the chances, but they were just failing to put the ball at the back of the net. And I think we all know Arsenal are very good defensively. It's just about finishing their chances. And as it stands now, they are through to the semi-finals, which is a huge boost for them, looking at the kind of week that they've had. They've not really had a good 2 or 3 weeks. So I think this is a huge confidence booster for them ahead of their blockbuster against Manchester City, which is going to be a title decider. But that's for another day. But this game, the big one,
in Germany, Bayern Munich and Madrid are playing.
It looked like it was heading towards extra time until Camavinga decided to do it. He was brought on to kind of bring calmness and control for Real Madrid. Just a few minutes towards his cameo, he received the first yellow card. Then couldn't keep his cool and got another yellow card. It was a very...
So as it stands now, on aggregate, it is 5-4.
5-4.
And that means...
Right after his red card, I think 5 minutes later, Luis Diaz punished Real Madrid with the numerical advantage that Bayern Munich have. So as it stands right now, Bayern Munich and Arsenal are through to the semi-final of the Champions League.
So at the moment, we've got Arsenal, Bayern Munich, alongside Atletico Madrid and Paris Saint-Germain. And the semi-final fixtures are going to look like what?
So
Arsenal
PSG
will play who?
are going to play Bayern Munich.
PSG will play Bayern Munich.
And Arsenal are going to play Atletico Madrid. Very, very, very interesting ties.
Yeah, very interesting ties there. Well, hopefully next season Chelsea will be somewhere in here. But that's all we have for you today. Thank you very much for your company. We'll be back same time tomorrow.
All bets on sports. High odds. Fast payout. Bookmaker Company.
How may I help you today?
We'd like to open a bank account.
Sign here, sign here, sign here, and here. And now you draw direction to your house. I need your thumbprint. And I'll need your birth certificate too. No, I need the original.
A lot has changed since you bank like this. So have we. We've made it easier than ever to open an account online and bank on the go through our mobile app, online banking, and more. EcoBank, a better way to bank your way.
Sign here, and here.